We're gonna play a rapid game first. After this rapid game, that hopefully goes smooth, I'll rest. Nietzsche, congratulations. That's awesome. You tied for third place under 1900 at the North American Open. There you go. You won some prizes. You represented. Alrighty. We're already thinking here, hey? These Indian setups with knight c3. I mean, d5 is the main move to stop e4. It can transpose to like London structures. Yes. Now it's kind of like a London. Do I go for e6? I have a lazy move planned, but I've made it work before. Somebody's gonna have to remind me. What happens after c5? c5, e3. There's a way you can lose right away. c5, e3, knight c6, and like knight b5. You gotta be a little careful here. I like playing c5 because I like putting pressure there. But there's some drawbacks. I'm gonna play a6. I'm gonna get my c5 moves in first. I'm gonna take away a couple opportunities. Okay, let's go c5. You have to invest a lot of time in the opening so I don't lose in 10 moves. So knight c6, knight a4, e5, bishop g5, bishop takes c5. Is that one of the lines? I'm gonna be going e5 next move so that I can recapture on c5. Yeah, e5 and bishop takes c5 would be some nice space. Alright, what's the deal here? I'm gonna do it. You gonna go bishop g5? Bishop g5, bishop e6. I'm still gonna recapture when I get the opportunity. Yeah, even after moves like here, you can go bishop takes c5, knight takes c5, queen a5 check as an option. Yeah, if I can keep the E and the D pawns intact, I will be happy. I don't really see how white prevents that. I mean, you could just make a normal developing move. You take, I take with the pawn. I don't mind reinforcing the center. Sure. To me, that's a no-brainer because I want to keep this pawn. I'm liking the way it's looking because it looks like black's going to get a nice center. Bishop f3, I guess I'm going e4. And then recapturing. Have to be a little careful there. But I think that's the plan. To kick the bishop out before recapturing. I switched the song. Okay, so here this was my plan. Queen a5 check. Sorry. c3. Bishop takes, there's b4. So I think we should take first. So that when we go queen a5 check, we're in time. Check. And then captures. And now I can probably consider queenside capturing. But it looks pretty comfortable. Yeah, queenside castle, then come up with a plan. I like the way the pawns are right now. I don't even want to touch them. Like, rook here is asking to be played. To throw in that move, because I don't see why I wouldn't queenside castle. So I'm going to play rook g8. Try to induce a weakness like g3. Weaken the light squares. You can castle here. Ballsy, but you can do it because castle, bishop h3, there's knight h4, and I think white's holding. Not necessarily good, but I'm gonna castle where my pawns are good, and that's the queen side. Queenside castle. It seems like a good time to do that. I'm thinking about playing f5 actually. One reason why I'd play f5 is white castles with f5. I can maybe go f4 and chip away. d4 is an option. e4 is generally not an option because it just gives the square to white, and I'm kind of pushing my pawns all on light squares, which could have some endgame consequences. Yeah, we'll go for f5 probably. Keep the pawns mobile. I'm curious where white's gonna castle. Queen's side seems like the obvious choice, but you never know. I'm feeling very frisky after queenside castle. I can maybe rook lift. Looks risky, but it's one way you can activate your rook. The problem with my pawns is they're very good, but I can't advance them without weakening. As they stand, they cover everything, but every time you push it, it gets a little weaker. There's a move to always consider. King b8. Always play king b1, always play king b8. Useful to move your king away. I'm going to do that first because I want to use a c-file. It's a useful waiting move. My opponent agrees. I was thinking about f5 here. What does f5 do? Bishop f5 is another option. That looks pretty good. Kind of like how bishop f5 looks, because if I go f5, bishop is struggling. Bishop here, knight here, bishop here, f3. What to do? Rook c8. Maybe rook c8, rook d8, shift my rooks. I'm looking at the pawn mass after f5 and it looks pretty good. To play f5 and then f6. And everything's guarded. But I still have to come up with a plan afterwards. d4 trades off too many things. Rook c8 doesn't look bad. But I'm still far away from an attack. I don't like playing f5 for the purpose of that it takes away the diagonal that my bishop might end up using. I should let my opponent make bad moves. Okay. My queen looks good. Knight on c6 looks good. It'd be nice to get a knight to e4. But I don't really know if I can invest that much time. Knight here, knight here, knight here, knight there. Might be daydreaming a bit too much. I'm gonna go with rook c8 to start. I can see the c-file being a battleground. Okay, I'm happy to see that move because I don't think that's where the knight should be headed. I think knight d3 is the plan. Just gonna move my queen out of the way and prepare d4. I'm happy to see this. As compared to the game, the knight on f3, now when I go d4, there's no knight covering it. Now my rooks are more aggressively placed. So here, I like this. Disconnects the queen and the rook from the middle. And when I play d4, I'm going to have some serious pressure. Yes. The strategy of letting my opponent make their own moves. I think this is good for me. So I'm going to play it. Because it opens up this bishop. Potentially improves my knight if I can get my knight to d4. And it also improves my rooks. Because it potentially opens them up. But this is looking like a good diagonal. I mean, they could just play bishop g2 here. But then I have ideas like knight a5, knight c4. Feels like white did not improve their position because knight on d3 is pretty shaky. Ooh. I like seeing that. I do. I do like seeing that. Now f5 is an option. I want to undouble. But this is looking very attractive to me. Very attractive. Bring the knight to c4. I'm thinking white might play queen b4 here. Then I'm going to sidestep and play queen c7. To put pressure here and avoid the queen trade because I'm out for blood right now. White's behind in development. They need to be attacked. Although, after knight c4, they can still go queen here. Things aren't settled yet. Knight c4 looks like an improvement. Let's go queen c7. I'm playing that right away because I've already calculated on my opponent's turn. And I'm thinking about rook lifting. But let's just, I don't know, no matter where they go, I'm thinking with the rook lift. Rook here and rook there. Because they can't take because of the discover check on b2. And I want to bring another piece into the game. I mean, the rook lift is looking really attractive right now. So I think we're going to go for it. Unless I see something. Rook here. Bring the rook in. Knight c4 is good. Knight c4. The queen's almost trapped, which kind of looks funny. Knight c4, b3. I want my rook ready for that. So I think I'm going to go rook here first. Because then I can use the pin. I mean, I guess knight c4, b3 right away. I could have gone rook d6 anyways. But looks logical to bring the last piece in. I don't know. White might want to go b3 to stop this and close this diagonal, but then I have rook b6 followed by knight c4. Now it looks like I'm getting some counterplay there. The king has some weaknesses to deal with. Shall we? Rook b6. Things are not looking healthy here. I think queen e1 is almost the only move. And then we get to bring our knight in. Unless there's something better. I mean, there's a lot of tempting moves. But the knight is strong on c4. White's definitely lacking a lot of space, and then knight on d3 kind of prevents. I mean, even this bishop, it's kind of hemmed in. Knight c4 after queen e1, and there's already some threats. So here after knight c4, already threatening to take and go queen c3. Yeah, this is not looking good. I'm not sure what my opponent's thinking about. If here, knight c4, queen only has one move, then after bishop d7, the queen's trapped. Similarly, if you go queen a4 right away after knight c4, queen's about to be trapped. On a3 or a4, it's running out of space. And then d2 is not good because knight c4 is a tempo. So to me, queen e1 looks forced. Okay, knight c4. By calculating on your opponent's time, you can gain some clock advantage. We've already looked at this. Now I don't know what white's going to do. This is a threat with queen c3. And I was thinking if white goes c3, I'm going to do the same thing. They go b3, maybe queen d6 to go queen a3. Because at least the pawn is pinned. Oh, sorry. b3 I can just take. That's stupid. b3 I can just take everything. Check. Takes, hitting the queen. And then triple on the file or something. Looks nasty. I think it works. e3 knight check here. Knight takes, queen here. I am pinned there. Rook c6. Bishop d1, knight b4. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. King a1. So first of all, let's look at knight b2, knight b2, rook b2, king b2. Need some more ingredients. So if queen d6, I'm threatening knight takes b2, knight takes b2, and queen a3. Queen d6, rook b1. I'm looking at knight a3 in that position. Pawn takes a3. Queen takes a3. Knight c1. Rook takes c2. And if rook takes b6, rook c1, queen a2 mate. Queen d6 looks strong. If c3, I can take here too, and after knight b2, queen a3. But if here, I think I have this move, this shot. That opens everything up. So I think rook b1 is a really natural move here because how do you stop knight b2, queen a3? What the heck? h4. h4. Is that really played? I worked so hard for this position. Well, I don't want to prolong this. I think we have it calculated. Knight takes b2. At the minimum, you're just winning a pawn. But knight b2, queen a3, threatens mate, threatens mate. Knight here, rook here, queen a3 anyways. Knight b2, queen a5. I can even move back. And looking good. I'm disturbed by this move. I almost want to play h6 because I think it doesn't change anything about the position. Yes, I am disturbed. I might not play knight b2, which wins because I want my opponent to acknowledge my attack. Can I get away with playing h6 here? Does everything win? As long as I'm confident in my calculation, then That would teach people bad habits though. Okay, okay. I'll do knight takes b2. I think I can play h6 here, and the position is still crushing. But this should be a good little shot to enable queen a3 and the follow-up checkmate. So there's two checkmates being threatened, which kind of kills the game. This rook's not doing anything, that pawn's not doing anything, bishop. I telegraphed it. I told my opponent what I was going to do. I was a little surprised they played h4. Every piece is doing something. Always a good sign. Everybody's employed. Okay, now I can actually clown around a little bit because this move wins. But if I'm going for style points, I believe rook takes with a queen sack and rook a4 double checkmate is the classy way to do it. To threaten this. Probably a few ways to do it in a sexy manner. But bishop takes is probably what you should play, just to secure the win. But, you know, if I have a chance to play a double checkmate, it gets people on Twitch excited, on the internet. Hope they let me play the move at least. 20 seconds. Oof, the resignation. GG. We'll just pretend my opponent made a move. Rook b1. And then the game continued. The game continued. Queen takes a2. King takes a2. No, rook a4 double checkmate was not played. I would have played rook takes c2 double check. And then a different checkmate. That's what I would have done. This one. This vertical checkmate. Flexing versus 1900. No. I got paired against the 1900. I think I played a good game here. I don't think it was a flex. Just put my pieces on good squares. You know? We defeated the London-ish setup. But the line that I think, I don't know, but this is what I calculated. The critical line is rook b1. And I think I was planning to play knight a3. Knight a3. White has to take. If they don't take, they lose the exchange. Or they get mated. So let's say they take. And after queen takes a3, I don't really see how you stop checkmate. Knight here I take. Knight here is the only move I see. Let me double check. I'm not saying anything dumb. Yeah, knight here. Then I was just going to take. And this move can't really be stopped. Oh, rook b3. Yeah, rook b3 also loses after takes, and rook c2. Unfortunately, heavy material losses here. Queen b1 here. No, I mean, you're playing queen b1, but as I said earlier, if black's up in exchange and a pawn, It's more than enough to win the game.